Okay, welcome back, everybody. It is a new day, and this is the Sam Crescent Art Show. We are live. Let me just check in on all of the platforms and make sure everything is operating correctly. Yes, welcome Twitch, welcome Kick, um, welcome YouTube, and welcome Facebook. Let's get the show going. Let's get the party started. Gonna go right into some Bridgman studies. I'm gonna just keep working through Bridgman basically every day. So that's what we're doing right now. And we need a layer here. Okay. And it looks like this is, let's make this a little smaller here. It's kind of taking up most of the room. It's like this is the study that we're going to be doing here from Bridgman's Book of 100 Hands that is in the public domain. It is a Google digitized book. You can find it out there if you ever want to study from it yourself. And I'm going to work on that first, then we're going right into the comic book. So we have some more anatomical, schematical drawings. Let's get those going. And these are interesting and useful to know. So let's do this one first. And especially, I want to pay attention to the tendons of these hands, because when you're drawing a character, gripping something, punching, or doing anything along those lines, you can, if you know how the tendons look and you can do them correctly, it helps with the dynamic action. I always use a paddle shape kind of for the hand. And I am only moderately warmed up today. I am still off schedule quite heavily from this last weekend from Comic-Con Revolution. That for me is a very busy show, very profitable show, and just a lot of talking, a lot of interacting with lots of different people. And it sometimes these shows take me a couple of days to recover from. I feel like, although I am recovered, but just trying to get my schedule and my routine back in place. I did start prepping yesterday for the next convention, in addition to working on the comic book like I'm doing right now. What we're drawing here is these are the bones right here, the phalanges of the hand. I believe that's what they're called, is the phalanges. I'll double check. I'm going a little too far on the wrist, but that's okay. We'll just bring the palm of this hand out here a little bit more. And what Bridgman is showing is he's basically showing the insertion points, or the attachment sites, of all the various muscles that are on the back side, the dorsal side of the hand. Now, this muscle here, the one number 2, is the extensor communis digitorum, which is an important one to know for hand tension. And it's got 3 major tendons. Bridgman didn't finish his, but it's got 3 major tendons that you can see come off, and they attach to the first 3 fingers. So I'm going to work on that right now. And those tendons are important to know. And then you'll notice he has like some indication here, kind of like some type of cartilage kind of stuff in there. Looks like that goes into that. He's got a tendon coming off here, small one. This right here is the, I believe that's the flexor carpi ulnaris muscle that's attaching, and you see that's this believe that's the styloid process of the ulna right there. This bone behind it, but this muscle here, and we can check it. It tells us on the page just above this. We've got two muscles here, which I don't remember what these two are. You don't really see them because they go underneath the extensor carpi, or the extensor. Now I just forgot the name of that muscle. I just said it. What the heck, man? Communis digitorum. Duh. That's the pollicis brevis and longus. And it's easy to know which one's which because just think the brevis is shorter and it's the one that's closer to the thumb. This would be, the thumb would be coming off of here. So comes around and goes to the thumb, pollicis brevis, and the extensor pollicis longus is up higher because it's obviously longer. Those two, let's see, that's 5 and 6. What are those anyway? Extensor carpi radialis brevior and extensor carpi longior. I don't know how you pronounce that. Really not important to know those. You're really not going to see them. Palmar fascia. Not sure what he's talking about. Palmar fascia. Number 11. Oh. I see. What's number 9 then? Tendon of the palmaris longus. Ah, okay. So this is the top of the hand. This is the hand flipped over looking at the bottom. Yeah, there you go. Back view, palmar view. So keep in mind that all this anatomy and stuff that I just drew here, we're looking down on the hand. So now let's do the next one. And that's where we're looking at the bottom of the hand. So these are different muscles that we haven't done the bottom side yet. We've been doing the top side for, let's get the paddle shape in, for some time. But let's do it. So we've got, not sure. Let's start with this thumb. That's a pretty big shape here that we can kind of, that he's got a tendon here, but he doesn't say what that muscle is. This would be where all the not the metacarpals, the metacarpals, capitate, hamate, pisiform, cuneiform. All right, so we've got a muscle coming up here. So this is the palmaris longus. This one, this muscle here, I don't know what that is. So I'm going to have to look these up here. I'm going way too far out with that muscle here. So this would be the palmaris longus, and then this is the palmar fascia that it's going into. And then there's another one here. I'm not sure what he's showing here. Oh, I see. He's showing that this is all basically flesh. And this area here is all, that's the dorsal interosseous muscle. That's one that I do know. More metacarpals here. Coming down. That. Okay, so let's just look some of these up here. So we've got, this is number 8 here. And that is the flexor carpi radialis. So I'll write it down to kind of remember it. That one you need to know. Nine palmaris longus. I already know that muscle. What's number 10 here? Coming off to the side. Flexor carpi ulnaris. So that's easy because it's like the radial side, the ulnar side. So 10 is the flexor carpi ulnaris. And what's 7? Supinator longus. So this one is an interesting one. It's the one that's gonna rotate the hand pronation, supination up so that the palm side is facing up. 7. Supinator. Oops. I got there. Supinator longus. Okay. So that's it for that. Let's do some drawing now. We did a little bit of anatomical schematics. We'll go to the next page of Bridgman, and we've got this sort of foreshortened back of the hand. I'm going to just go for the big shape. Here we've got this kind of like paddle shape. Here with the fingers coming down somewhere around there, thumbs coming out there, and a wrist. All right, so let's see here. Let's just kind of break it down. I like the way he's locked the wrist in here, like that. Comes up. And then he's got the knuckle, I think, right there. And that first digit coming off, in. Pay attention to the angularity of his drawing. Kind of shows that pinch there. Comes down, it's got the next knuckle here. And he's got these two fingers kind of together. Now this one's coming the angle down. There's the pad in. Same thing here. The pad is up. Now see how he splits that? It's pretty nice. Puts that in here. Indicates some knuckles there, there, and there. And notice how he's got this looking like a, he's got some, he's got a line here just describing the contour of this form. Same thing with that squiggliness there. I mean, it's just to show that this is top pad of the hand. This thumb, he's got it coming out here. That's kind of a weird tangent. Let's fix that. Something like that. And draw in the pinky. He did draw nails on his fingers, so might as well follow along with that. Indicated some knuckles there. And there we go. We got this hand. We've got this hand dropped in, and that's a very nicely done hand. He indicated some shading along the side here. He's got some. That's more than likely to indicate that that's a plane. He's got these lines here, probably to indicate that this is a plane here, that this is lowering away. I'm not sure exactly, but there we go. There's that back view of the hand. Let's go to the next page because there's some more things in here that are pretty interesting, especially on the next page right here. So here we have a more design of the hand, and notice how he's making a sort of lump over the top. So I'm going to do that one too, because that's an interesting dorsal view of the hand here. So let's just go for the big shape right away. And I'm kind of just, I don't try to be too accurate with the big shape. I just kind of trust my subconscious mind. I didn't even really look at the shape I was drawing. I just looked at the object. Okay, so got an angle here. Comes down, overlaps. Some rendering there. Comes in. And he's showing the bones here. Here. This is really crazy. All of this stuff he's doing. All right, we've got the knuckle here, and really draws in a pretty robust looking knuckle right there. There. Kind of cross hatchet it in. Got another big knuckle right there. Something like that. Coming through here. There. Showing that that's underneath. This pad is maybe a little bit bigger in Bridgman's. I'm going to kind of adjust mine. And then he's locking this out for where the thumb's coming from. No, that's the wrist. So this is the wrist here. Coming from the back. Put a big mass here where the rest of this thing's going to be. And then he's got the dorsal interosseous muscle right here. This big shape there. And he's really showing the... It's got some lines indicating the form of that. I mean, it's really nice how he's locking all these shapes together. I would not probably have thought of drawing a hand like this at all. He's chopped off the thumb there, but the thumb would come out here. You know, somewhere like that. Have a thumb here. You're going to keep drawing it, you know, we'd have a finger there. Something like that. Another finger there. There'd be a knuckle here. Knuckle here. One, I don't know. There'd be more than that. This is all wrong. Let me erase this off. Doesn't matter. All right, so that's there. And then here, it's like he's got the same thing, but he's not showing the bones anymore. Do that one too. Muscle there. Dorsal interosseous muscle. He really likes to show that one. It's also, this is a really interesting thumb. Brings it down there. Up. Knuckle. Knuckle. More like that. It's more there. More there. Something like that. I don't love what I did here, but it's just kind of a almost abstract in some ways, but I see what he's trying to say is that there's a, there's a big, he's drawing kind of a mound here on top of the hand and then another mound here. So he's thinking about these. This is like a really interesting thumb there. Something like that. All right, let's move on. We got to work on the comic book now. I'm going for 20 minutes. This is another cool hand right there, though. There's like this side view. Let's do that too. Might as well. Then we'll call it a day for the drawing because there's not as much stuff to draw in the comic today. It's going to be more getting the page ready for coloring and flattening and everything. So I'll do a little bit more drawing studies so I can keep the practice in, keep things going. Flat there. That's not quite up and down. It does angle. I pretty much got the angle, I think. Knuckle pinching up. There's that indication of that dorsal interosseous muscle that he's got right there. Pretty cool. There's this thumb here. And that's pretty neat too, how he got that. Pat of the hand. This needs to go down a little bit more. We look at Bridgman's and look at where I put mine. We draw a line across. It basically intercepts right about there. So we use that comparative measurement right there to get that in the right spot. Angle this here. Here. It's showing the other one there, like right underneath it. Got this one coming here. And that's basically more or less the Bridgman hand from side. Again, like really cool locking shapes, interlocking shapes. Whoops. Oh, I'm in animation mode, so let me see if I take this out of animation folder. Wait, no. I don't know where that layer went. Well, there's that, but what was I going to look at? Oh, I just wanted a new layer on top so I could kind of look at these shapes a little bit better. This one here. And that. Pretty cool. Some other interesting things happening here. always kind of trying to afterwards look at like, okay, which shapes is he kind of using to make this thing work? I don't know. There's another thing I was interested on the overall shape of, but I don't remember. All right, let's go to the comic book. Enough drawing studies. I'll keep working through this book, keep mastering the anatomy as much as possible. All right. Let's see here. Okay, so for the comic book, what we've got to do, what I've got to do today is try and get this page. I don't think I can do all of it, but trying to, this is what we did yesterday. I've got to get this stuff flatted. So this guy's name is Harpoon Jack. So I need to name him. Here we go. And I need to say what I need to declare what this is. It's a line art. All right. And I actually want to change. I'm gonna put my pen. Pen's gone. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm back. I want to change this here. Oh, there. Get an eraser up here. What the? Oops. Okay. It should be coming out from under. Kind of do something like that there. There, something like that. Okay. Now, we need to make the flats for him. So let's make a folder for this guy. Call it Harpoon Jack. Put him in there. Okay. Selection. It's up. Star asterisk. No, up. Star I. Just need a color. All right. Perfect. So that guy's done. Got Midnight Maestro here. And we've got to do the same thing. So I'm just going to put each character in a folder. That and that. Let's get that. Select inverse. So up. Command I. Let's see if that works. Did not. What did that just do? It deleted stuff off. So for whatever reason, that's not working right now. Maybe I had that because I had the cut tool. activated. I don't know. This guy's got to get fixed. This is kind of the boring, meticulous part of making a comic book, but you have to do it. There's a lot of other work I'm going to get done today, but for my brick and mortar shop, I started building the new display racks for the stickers. And that's coming along pretty nicely. What else can I tell you guys about? What other stories have been going on here lately? Got just a bunch of stuff in the pipeline coming through soon that I'm excited about, though. But really the goal here is just to be, if I stay with my system here, I should have no problem putting out a new comic book a year. And that's what I want to do. Just a new one every year for the next 5 to 10 years straight. There's other people that will publish more aggressively than that. But I'd be pretty satisfied with that. Okay, so that takes care of Midnight that guy. We got Harpoon Jack. I'm gonna have to arrange these guys in a minute. Steel Assassin. Okay, that's this girl. Make her a. It's kind of a lame name. I'm gonna come up with a better name than Steel Assassin. What's something that's like steel? I don't know. Come up with something in a minute. Still, at least put flats down. If you can put the character that it belongs to, it's good as well. Okay, so let's try it again. So the invert is star up arrow I. Absolutely did not work. So I don't know why it's saying selection, invert selection area. It's saying up key, that command, and I, but it literally doesn't work. Try again. No, it doesn't. It just chops it down. I'm gonna have to make my own hotkey for that. All right. All right, that one's done. Actually, there's a few things that I want to correct on her. Yeah, the thing, you don't get to do as much drawing on these days where you have to set up your page, but it's the way it goes sometimes. Let's get rid of some of these fragments here. Little pixels that got spit out. Okay, that's cool. Take it. Okay, now we've got the butcher. This was a kind of a cool one that I came up with this last week. almost reminds me of those sitcoms when they would do a best of, like a remember this time um episode. So there'd be a sitcom and then there'd be an episode where it wasn't really a new episode, it was just scenes from other episodes, and the characters are remembering, oh yeah, I remember when we did that. I feel like that's what this is, because we're pulling up all these characters that I drew in the last few weeks and then putting a flats on them, and we're like, oh yeah, I remember that. There's the butcher. We named this layer flats. Butcher. Make sure we've got it named who it belongs to. And we've got background silhouettes here. Let's get those. Make a folder here for it. I'll go BG silhouettes. And we'll do flats. You know, the main thing is you just got to do something every day to make progress towards the thing you're building. And if you do that, eventually it will get done. You know, it'll take a while, but you can be confident that eventually it'll come into fruition. Okay, let's fix that. All right, those guys look good. So we have now is, they're not in their folder. Let's get them in their folder. Now we've got, okay, this is part of the original layout. So put that in there. What's this? Okay, this is my original layout. So let's put that in the original layout folder. Didn't name that, better name it. The butcher. Okay, so now we've got all these guys. This is another layout. So let's go back and put that in the original layout. Okay, so to get these ones, boom. I'm missing something here. What happened to my silhouette characters? They're gone. We've got Midnight Maestro, Harpoon Jack, Steel Assassin, the Butcher. This one goes into the original layout. And then somewhere in here we've got background silhouettes. I don't get it. Oh, it's still down there. Okay, so we got that. All right, now I think I have it organized. Okay, so right now I'm gonna move these people. Move Midnight. Okay, that's Harpoon Jack. No, we're leaving Harpoon there. We want to move Midnight. What the heck? There's something on here. We can move Midnight up there. You don't really get to see Harpoon Jack's weapon, but That is what it is. They're background characters. Now let's see what we've got here. We got more background characters here. So now we've got to organize these characters with these ones so that it makes some kind of sense. I think this grouping here is fine. There's not really anything that we need to do about them. Oh, her hair needs to be fixed. So fix her. All right. So I've got that. Whoops. Got that. Let's just see. Let's just move her a little bit. Although I have them in position based on the main characters, which are what the heck here. So I think it's fine the way they are on that side. Now these ones pretty much all get covered up, so it doesn't really matter. These little monkeys, I've got to move them, or I got to move this guy. We got to move that. We've got to move Midnight. Got to be like back there somewhere. All right. I think nobody's interfering now with our foreground crew. Got to fix her. Where is she? Jungle Girl. Now, you probably, if you're wondering, why did you draw all these characters in the background if you can't see them? Well, in the animated version, you will be able to see them. So that's why they exist. I don't know what that line is from. What the heck is that? All right, so now we do need to fix these people. So let's move the butcher over here. He's got to get put up. Yes. He's got to get put in front of that guy, Rifle Dude. Or we just move Rifle Dude down. Okay. But that guy's got to be behind Rifle Dude. So let's move them back where they were. All right. Now that girl, the baseball bat, she is here. I think I'm gonna move her. I think she has to go behind the butcher. Stay right there, but we'll put her behind the butcher. Yeah, that looks better. We'll keep Midnight Maestro, but we need to move Harpoon Jack. So let's get Harpoon Jack. Put him kind of up here more. Like that. Okay, now we've got Bikini Girl, we leave her. Leotard, that's her name, Leotard. Leotard needs to go. We can keep her there, but she's on the butcher's ropes. Like, if I made her a little bigger, it fixes the problem. Make her a little bigger. But right there, that works. Now we got Crop Top Commando. I need to fix him. His flats aren't all the way completed. Do that. That. Get rid of this line. Okay, I think that works for Crop Top. So let's put him in. Let's see, Crop Top's gone. Yeah, these are all working now. There's one more. This silhouette guy's got a piece of his head missing, so let's get that in. All right, and I think that concludes that scene. Let's see here. We'll put everybody else in here. Oops. Now put all our main characters back in. And they're fine. Everything's fine. It'll just be like that. Will be the scene. Save this. All right, now we've got to go through the other panels and get those all finished out. And panel borders and all that. So let's see what we can do here. So that's it for page 6. So we're going to go up to page 5, panel 5. Get Brain Monkey. He's usually purple. Indicate him with a purple color. We've got to make him here. Let's put P5 line art. Because there's multiple brain monkeys. That's why it's super important to label these things all correctly. At least the main folders. Oh, we'll see how. Doesn't look like it's going to work. I'm going to have to outline them manually. Let's get these guys all turned off. So you see there's a lot of breaks in the oops. I wonder if I did use the bucket, if it would. No, I think refer to other layers. Now let's see what happens if I do that. No. Let's see if I go enclose and fill. Let's see what happens if I do no. Seeing if there's any kind of there's nothing. So let's just we will continue to outline it the long way. I was watching this YouTube video the other day, and there's this guy who lives in a minivan, which I found it kind of interesting because I don't really care about the van life genre on YouTube that much, but I do because I have slept in my van numerous times going to and selling at conventions. Like there are a multitude of conventions where I just not gonna pay for a hotel. I don't want it to cut in my profits. I just will sleep in the van. I did it. I've done it a lot. So that's why that genre like is interesting to me sometimes. And that one in particular because he was in a minivan. So I'm looking at how he's making use of his minivan. And I'm less interested in people that have really nice, converted Sprinter vans with basically all the amenities of their home. It's not as interesting to me because I'm like, yeah, I mean, you've got like a killer setup. Who wouldn't want to live like that, but when you have a guy that's built a minivan into his home, that's a lot more. He's got a lot less to work with. He has solar panels on his roof. This guy's very analytical about things, though. He's like calculating out if he's going to go to this reservation that's 25 miles away to get a 25-mile round trip to get gas, where it's the cheapest price, or if he's going to go to Costco to get gas, where it's more but not as cheap. Prices are just absolutely insane here in California right now. I believe California has the highest gas prices in the country. I'm pretty certain it's even higher than Hawaii. Hawaii has very high gas prices as well. But he is in California. He's in Northern California, which would make sense also why he's really trying to calculate out the price of gas. I do the same as well and track how much I spend on gas every month. It's important to know those numbers because it's a big ongoing expense. It is a fixed cost. There's not a lot you can do about it. But this guy was making himself a homemade pizza in his minivan, and he created an oven by taking he's got an electric burner in there. It might be gas, but I'm pretty sure there's electric. I could be wrong. He puts a pan on there. It looks like I don't know where he washes his dishes though. He doesn't really. I think he does have some kind of makeshift sink. But he put a pan on there, and then he puts another pan over the top of it, and that creates his oven. And then he took a piece of bread and he put some sauce on it and some cheese and some pepperonis and stuff, and then he put it in his oven and he baked it. Then he talked about how it really, really upsets him and bothers him when he's making a sandwich or anything on his YouTube, and then people tell him how they would make it, or like tell him how he should make it. Like, well, you should do this, you should do that. And he said it makes him so mad that he'll be angry about it for like a long time. And he's trying to overcome that, but he doesn't think he ever will be able to. What I thought was very interesting because the format upon which he's, choosing to make content, which was kind of a vlogging style van life thing, showing his process for making stuff, he's unequivocally going to get people saying, well, I do it like this. You should make that this way. And most of those comments, I think, mean no ill judgment whatsoever. They're just like trying to share their way of doing a similar thing. But thinking about that, if you're seeing me do something and you have a way you do it that you like better or that you prefer, I will not be upset. It will not make me mad for days if you tell me that. In fact, I might consider it. I'd be like, well, maybe you have thought of something I didn't. Now I get it. You'll get to a point where everyone on, if there's a lot of people watching you do things, they're all going to have an opinion. But that also, again, comes with the territory. It's kind of like, okay, if you're going to make anything that's worthwhile, and somebody invests in watching it, so you say you watch me do this, and like you've just committed your time and your attention to watch my content, to watch what I'm making, what I'm working on. And so you just gave me that. Like, so you are entitled to have and express any opinion you want about it. Like, that's, you earned that as far as I'm concerned. So this whole thing about getting upset when people, let's see here. I can't keep talking and type rocking. This is P5. Like I was saying, getting upset or anything like that when someone's like watched your stuff, yeah, to me it just seems kind of silly, maybe a little immature. Let's see here. No. Let's see what the heck is what here. I don't even know. Oh, I see. That's his arm. Okay, we're leaving all that as is. That's his backpack. That's all gonna get left. Okay. Just make this folder. All right, so now let's see. For this, I'm gonna leave it. Should I leave it open or should I put a panel on that? I'm gonna definitely put one on P4. So let's do P4 here. Keep the same colors here. All right, so we got that. Let's. I'd like to see if I have time today. I'm gonna try to get the TikTok set up so that these streams will be going live on TikTok. Although I probably should configure my chat first, because if I start getting any kind of interactions here, then I'll at least be able to have a better chance of seeing and responding to people. In the meantime, Just wrapping up a page here. Move baby monkey over to like a brown color. Convert. Okay, that's definitely not a brown. Let's go over here more. Better. Let's fix this. Pin. Fix that. Okay, that looks good. Here. All right, we've got a good. Now there, let's make a folder for him. Missed it somehow. Okay, now we need evil robot. He's in front of everybody. Get this here. So this step is you're basically just trying to get, gotta name it. Just trying to get a solid color on each character so they're selectable. And that's gonna help for when it's time to color this thing. What the heck is going on here? Select this. All right. Same color as that. All right, we gotta fix this up. This is all wrong. Whoops, wrong layer. Did not select well. Don't want these little white areas around it. When we color it, we want to be able to color the color everything. All right, this is all. That's not supposed to get the color there. All right, this becomes a meticulous part where we don't have a selectable area, so I might be able to adjust the bucket fill tool to do this. I think there might be a tolerance slider, and that might allow me to do it. Let's see here. Let's go for other layers. No. So let me see if there's a tolerance here. Here it is, tolerance. What happens if I move the tolerance up? Nothing. Let's see if I move the tolerance way up. Nothing. If I move the tolerance way low. Nothing. So yeah, it seems like that does nothing. If we close gap, I don't really move that. Okay, so let's go the other way with that. No, it doesn't understand. So I have to just keep doing it the manual way. I mean, uh, all right, what else here? We're almost done with this page. It just says the meticulous, boring part of doing a comic book. All right, that's finally done. Make a layer for him. Flat. Okay. Let's see here. Now let's see if I can go with that selection. Let's see. We're gonna go to rectangle. I think we need to make a layer for it. Make sure we're on a black color. Pretty good there. Adjust it a little bit here. Okay, so we've got a panel border there. And then for layer P4, I'm wondering if it distorted it. Did it distort it when I can't tell. Sometimes in Photoshop, it will distort unless you're working with a smart object, it'll distort the border thickness of your panel. There's a fragment I want to get rid of here. Somewhere in P5, somewhere down here. What the heck? If I don't get that little fragment, it'll just be there forever. All right. Fix that. No, it's still there. What the heck? All right. Almost done here. Now for the P4, I want to put a background in there. So let's do that. The background's just going to be coloring, but G. And let's go with something like that. Maybe. Something like that. I don't know if I want to intercept that hand right there. Kind of don't. Move him here. There. That's good for now. Something like that there. Now, head's got to be bigger on these. Fix those in a minute. Let's go to... I'm going to skip P3, or should we... We'll just do it right now. So... No, I want to go ellipse. No, I want to go lasso. All right, I'm going to make the head a little bigger because it's not... That's the wrong proportion. I'm almost out of time here. Let's do the whole thing. Let's undo that. This body's got to be smaller. That's the problem. And then we need to... That's more like it. Just adjusting the proportions a little bit on each one here. That's pretty cool. I'll go with that. All right, so we are gonna do these. Luckily, they're all together, so we'll do the flats for P3 flats. And get this done. We got all this here. We'll add this. We'll add this. We'll add this. Add this. That's pretty cool. Get this in here. This one. Selection. Invert. this color. All right. Let's see here. How good is that? Just go in and fix it where we missed. There it is. Okay, that's pretty nice. Done with that panel. Then these ones are going to have borders around them. Panel 2 and panel 3, panel 1. Okay, so this is all one piece of art, so that makes it easy. Whoops. What's going on here? Let's see, what can we add there? Okay, that's all we can do. Let's invert this. This is the flats. Let's just fix it up. What we want to do, I'll do it. We want to make each character their own individual color, though, even though I drew this panel as all one piece. Just keep it going. Keep that going there. Get the all right. All right, so let's get Rocking's color first. So we're gonna go with this. Wand. Select that, and then we're gonna go lasso. No, lasso. M, I forget. Lasso's M. I don't think I'm gonna do all this today. I'll finish rocking here and then do the other panel, but it's gonna take way too long to keep going with this. I'll have my flatter finish it because I'm better spent taking this time and drawing new characters and stuff um, than doing this. No, I already did that, so we just gotta get rid of that. All right, let's see here. A couple more things here. I think that's good. All right, we'll finish those another time, and then let's see for P1. I think they're all one piece as well. I'm not gonna divide them all up right now. P1 flats. Wrong. Man, I feel like I'm working slow right now. This feels like a snail's pace to me. That done. Mistakes here. And there's some elements missing from this panel that I'm going to have to draw in, and I'll do that tomorrow. Man, this is boring. Finish this up here. All right. There's supposed to be panel borders on here. Let's at least get that in. We need to get a P1 folder. This. Something like that there. Wrong color. Undo that. Right over again. That works. And then we're going to have a P2 panel border. Anything in here? Something like that. Make sure it's the same size as the other one. It doesn't really matter, but oops. All right. I think that's it. Like tomorrow, I got to add in the missing elements here. Figure that out. Because he needs to have the pipe coming out of his head, the backpack, all the different things. So I'll have to adjust this first panel for that specifically. Yeah. And there needs to be backgrounds on these, like I can do the P2 one right now. It's like we missed some of this. Yeah, I still don't have it. All right, that, and then we go like this. Okay. Or just a little bit. So it's not tangent with his shoulder. There we go. That's pretty cool. There'll be background elements there, and then this one I'm gonna have to make probably have to make the foreground character smaller so I can fit the other equipment into the scenes. They're gonna have to be more like that. Whoops. They're gonna be more like that. Which is fine. All right, so game plan tomorrow. I'm going to draw in what's missing in this panel, put a placeholder for the background, then this page is officially wrapped and we start the next page. This was a ton of work, predominantly because of, what is this thing, Saving for a Million Years? Predominantly because of this scene and all these characters, and I don't know where. Let's see if I can figure out what that orange line's coming from. It's coming from Midnight. That's probably why his selection area was, I don't know. All right, got that fixed. Save it again. Thanks for joining me. I apologize for this being not the most exciting stream yet. I will be back soon. Actually, I'm going to make a clip for Instagram right now. So, check this out. We have completed this massive character scene here. We have all the characters flatted out, and you can see here. Oh, they're not even all the way in. All right, here we go. We have completed this massive character scene here. You can see we've got all the main characters up in the front right there. I'll turn off the main characters, and now you can see all these supporting cast members back here, and we can turn some of them off. For example, I can turn these ones off, or we can go through and one by one, like the Windbreaker guys right there. We've got the Dude Bro guy right there. Got the Crop Top Commando over there. Joe T-Rad is that guy right there. This is the Leotard Girl. And you can see everybody is on their own layer and in the scene. You're wondering, why did I do this? Why did I draw all these characters in this scene if they're just going to be covered by everybody else? Here we go. And the reason is, when this is animated, this whole scene is going to parallax, which means the camera's going to move and the characters are going to be revealed, the ones that are standing behind other characters. And when that happens, you'll be able to see all these characters, supporting cast members that are behind the main cast. There's the Windbreaker guy. This is Joe T-Rad right there. We can turn him off. We've got like the Punk Rock Girl right there. We've got the Batgirl. Who's Batgirl? Oh, that's the Batgirl because she's got a baseball bat. I didn't give her a very good name. The bikini one. We've got the Butcher right there. So all these characters will be revealed in the actual comic, or I mean in the cartoon. It's just a matter of the animation part. And then in the actual printed one, you won't see them all.